Let me get out of this. Oh my
You are
God.
good to go.
Okay, hold on just a second. How do I do this? Okay, that's fine. Out. One more and then we'll go ahead, and I apologize. Okay, go ahead and call the meeting to order. The May 23rd, 5 o'clock for Public Works. Acceptance of the agenda. If there's no additions or deletions, which is not. We'll just go ahead and order I need the acceptance of the agenda is ordered, and then we'll go ahead with I need a motion for the minutes.
Motion. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion on it? All in favor of the minutes, say aye. Aye. All opposed, it passes unanimously. All right. Under ordinances and resolutions, we have none. Under the other agenda items, trash collection update.
Yes, as
Sarah.
you have in your packet, the trash collection update indicates that we're still doing well. Service is still within the acceptable limits. We haven't
Okay.
exceeded the misses for the month. So.
Any questions or comments on that?
And Memorial Day, everything's delayed one day.
That's
correct?
actually, yes, that's correct. Yeah, collection will be Tuesday and Saturday.
And I'm sure we're gonna put something.
We have been already.
Yeah, it's been on, I think, Channel 3 and also in the social media as well. So we're doing good with trash collection. That's really good. Would start off the summer right. Let's go ahead and, Mayor, if that's all right, or how you want to do this, we want to discussion of the options for residential trash service.
Thank you. Our 5-year contract expires June 30th of next year. So we're 13, 14 months away from that. When we changed over from the previous company to Waste Pro 4 years ago, the transition was not good. I think we all learned some lessons from that. We have been fortunate in that the contract we have with Waste Pro, we have been fortunate, they not so much, that even though inflation has been hitting 7, 8, and 9%, that contract only allows Waste Pro to go up every year 2.5%. That is one way that the contract gets more expensive. The other way is that the number of houses that come online. They charge us more because they're picking up more houses. We're also getting more revenue from those houses and we pass that on. They've let us know, they've been very upfront and they've been very honest, they've been very helpful, Lori and Mark, that we're not likely to get a contract like that again. Whereas inflation has gone like this, the costs for us have gone like this. And so that's been a huge benefit to us. Jesse's done some research. He's had conversations with Waste Pro. Sarah has had conversations with Waste Pro. And we're getting closer and closer to the time that we would want to go out for bids if we want to go out for bids, or deciding that we want to extend the contract. We can extend the contract by 5 years, is that right? Can we extend it by 1 year?
Awesome.
Okay, but Waste Pro isn't likely to do that without something in there where they can go up significantly in costs. Lori should really be speaking to this, but I think I'm conveying their feelings on this. And Jesse's also looked at what some other cities have had happen to them, and it fits along the lines of what Lori and Mark have been telling us as far as the expense that we can see for residential trash pickup. So I feel like we should go back up for bids pretty soon, and I'm looking for y'all to tell me otherwise.
Okay, Jesse, do you have anything to say on the issue at all? No. Sarah, if not, Lori, you have anything to say?
I just wanted to be here in case you had questions, feedback from the market on things like that we've bid lately, things that are impacting, say, the drive and rate. I can answer any questions. I can give you some details if you'd like it. It's kind of however you would like the information.
Committee, what do you all want to do?
What's the value of the contract now, and what do you estimate the contract will be if you were to bid on it again?
The only thing that's tough about that is, say we're in a public,
Right.
Yeah.
setting, so if it
Yeah.
goes out to bid, we,
Put you at a disadvantage.
Right.
That's good, yeah.
so, but I can tell you, we bid on Goodlettsville. Number one, the bidder that was awarded that contract, they did not go up significantly. They're no longer in business. They were purchased. So basically, they renewed a contract with somebody and then sold out before they were even there to renew it. Whereas like the rest of us, I mean, they saw like over 100% increase on their contract in Goodlettsville. And other places like White House just went out. I think it was probably like a 70-ish %. Kind of depends on your line of service, depends on what you receive. Which I always say, what's here in Hendersonville is a very, very high level of service with your back door, your bulk, that's being provided. It's Cadillac. It is. It's a good service.
So the mayor mentioned about, asked Sarah if we could extend it for 1 year. Would the company be willing to extend it for 1 year under the current contract? For 1 year?
For one, honestly, I think, I don't know. I'd have to go back. I think no matter what, whether you face this in 1 year, the rate increase is gonna be coming. They may negotiate a rate increase at a higher rate than, say, the 2.5% that's allowable by contract, say, to somewhat bring it up to speed. But I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that.
Yeah, probably unfair. You can't speak for corporate.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to kind of pull the numbers and look at that and see what we could or couldn't do.
So if we put it out for bid, would you bid? Would you submit?
Oh, yeah.
bid?
We are very pleased with the direction that things have gone. I know we had our issue with the ice storm and then the holiday, but I feel like overall we've settled in here in the last, let's just call it year to two, post kind of some COVID stuff, and I think things are good. I mean, I think it's calmed down a little bit. I think some residents are kind of getting into a groove of what to expect, and so we are pleased with the contract, and we don't want it to go anywhere. We just hate that it's kind of the timing of it, of when we started and then what has occurred just with inflation and everything since then.
You're in several municipalities, aren't you?
Mhm.
Across the south or?
Pretty
United
much like
States?
Southeastern Conference. And then here, I mean, we've got 10 routes that we're running for Nashville. And then we've got the Hendersonville contract. And then, I mean, my service area, I go to Memphis, I go down into Mississippi, I go to Arkansas.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would like for the staff to negotiate with Waste Pro to see if we can get a 1 year extension. And after that 1 year extension, then we put it out for bid, competitive bid. And if they will not extend it for 1 year, the current contract, then we need to, I think the staff needs to give us a schedule to put it out for bid and put in the schedule plenty of flexibility. Don't let us run up, to the last minute, but, so I guess I'm suggesting for discussion, let the staff continue to negotiate with Waste Pro to see if we can get a 1 year extension at the contract, and if they won't at the current contract, what's the best deal they could give us? And then we'll have that information we
Right.
can consider. But also after a year or before, start putting together a schedule, a timeline, so that we have plenty of time to go through this committee. I guess it go through budget too, right?
It won't affect this coming year.
No.
Yeah.
It would be,
Okay.
yeah.
I will
Okay.
say the only other thing that we had presented was, if we agreed to the 5-year renewal, if we wanted to stair step into that increase so that it wasn't all absorbed at one time, essentially maybe take a little bit of a hit in 6 months and then another little hit in 6 months so that, because we still have the 14 months sitting here or 13 months, to kind of ease into that if that was an option. Because basically we would have this coming year and through the following year to kind of break up that increase, if that's helpful.
Well, I wouldn't be in favor of starting to stair step an increase while in conflict with the contract. That's what you're asking.
We would amend it. We would say we would
Yeah.
amend it. I mean, we just threw that out there as an option because some people have been like, oh, okay, we
I
can
don't know
go
if I'd
ahead
be in
and
favor of that.
I mean, we've got a good deal now. Let's keep it as long as we
Yeah,
can.
that's right.
Yeah.
fully understood.
Sarah, what do you feel about? And then we'll go back over your motion again, Eddie. Just say, Sarah, what do you feel about?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that way forward. We've been in discussions. I don't know that, I would have to verify, I think, with the city attorney, the possibility of doing a 1-year extension as a contract that specified the option to extend for 5 years.
Okay.
So we'd have to review that and then see what we could come up with for a 1-year extension, if that's a possibility. And then if not, we'll put together a schedule and prepare bid documents.
All right, Alderman Martin, how do you feel? Are you cool with where we're approaching this and going forward?
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Okay.
The inflation items, it's fuel and what else?
Well, I mean, we've seen increase in what we pay our employees just to stay on point, with keeping quality employees to service it. You've got the increase in your truck cost, maintaining those, what it costs for, what it costs for a simple part, along with what it costs for a mechanic to do that, has taken a huge jump, along with like part lead times. Your fuel kind of all over the board, just like we see out there, just like on our vehicles. But it's just seen an impact of just across the board of, we're passing through price increases that are more 7%, 8% to customers and have been, say, for a couple of years. So that 2.5 just lags behind. It's great for the city. That's the benefit of the long-term contract, is you kind of get that benefit, but if it goes in a negative favor, then somehow you gotta kind of jump back, catch up. That's never a good time to be in your seat.
Understood.
Mayor, do you have any comment on
No,
this?
I'm fine with that direction. Be back in a month.
Jesse, good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Terry, how about?
Good.
Well, I know you're not part of our committee, but you still are part of us. So that's, okay, go ahead and repeat your motion again. And
Okay. I'd like to authorize the staff to begin negotiations with Waste Pro after consultation with the general counsel, with the city attorney.
Okay.
On extending the contract for 1 year at the current terms are the best terms that you can get, and to bring that back in 1 month. Also be working on a timeline in case that doesn't work. So in a month, you can say, here's what we can get, a 1 year extension. If we decide not to, okay, here's the schedule, here's the timeline, so that the timeline's laid out succinctly, so we'll know,
Okay.
the steps that we need to take by such and such date, and build in plenty of flexibility.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question, please? Should we go ahead and ask him also what a 5-year extension would be in the event that we can't do 1 year? Or would you want us to just come back, y'all starting fresh without asking that?
that's a good point.
Say that again.
So if the city attorney says we can't ask for 1 year,
Right.
should we ask Waste Pro what it would be for a 5-year extension?
Well, my problem would be the competitive nature of that, disclosing that.
Understood.
Waste Pro, I wouldn't think would want to disclose that in public, because that would hurt their bidding process.
Sure would,
Am I
I would
correct?
say you'd be better suited, say, could meet that or not, without, say, revealing what our actual number is. Got to get to the same answer without.
Well, the incentive for
Yeah.
Waste Pro is that we're gonna give you a 1 year extension without putting it out for bid. So at least you got another year contract, a 1 year contract. So that would be the incentive for Waste Pro.
I will say full disclosure right now, essentially, we're paying you to pick up the garbage instead of the reverse. That's to the extent that it's gotten to. And I only say that just to be, like, we've really tried to be honest with where things are. We want to make sure the service is good, but that's kind of where it's gotten to.
And I don't want us to enter into negotiations here. I want the staff to do that, and the mayor, so, then that's my motion.
Okay, does anybody need that motion repeated? Because I'm not gonna, tonight, I'm just not going to do that. I mean, I can, and by Robert's Rule of Order, I'm gonna say, even though I know the mayor wants to teach a class on that, but I'm very comfortable in my knowledge of Robert's rules. I'm just gonna say that that's the motion made.
Second.
Okay, and there's been a proper second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, is everyone ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, it passes unanimously. So Sarah, I guess you all can get together and figure out what our next step is on that.
I've got one other question.
Yes, sir.
On trash.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, in the budget, we're going to be talking about it's Nancy's birthday. I forgot to tell her happy birthday.
Well, you tell her we all said happy birthday.
Tonight, we're gonna do the trash in the budget. So this is a trash-related question. Is there any way, and I've asked Lance to look at it, is there any way that we can assess to everyone in the city a universal trash tax that would not only tax residents, but that would also tax businesses? But it would be a line item. It would be itemized, but it would be a universal trash tax. Now, the federal government has done that through a universal service tax that everybody pays, businesses and everybody. So I want us, maybe not now, but maybe we can talk about that during the budget tonight, about the possibility of a universal garbage tax.
In addition to the residential fee that we have?
Well, I guess and if it's legal and if the board would vote to do it, then it'd be up to the staff to come up with a formula of how that would be calculated. I don't know how it would be calculated. First, I don't even know if it's legal. But if it is, because garbage service is something that benefits the whole city, not only residents. I like the idea of separating it because people can see this is what I'm paying for garbage. But is there a way that we can assess a tax, even on businesses, to help pay for the garbage service in the city? So I intend to bring that up tonight. We don't need to discuss it now unless we want to, but I want to at least bring that up tonight to see. And to be quite frankly, the reason I say that is we know that the garbage fee is going to go up, probably astronomical. So I'm trying to find ways that we can spread the misery around a little bit. So anyway, be that as it may, I want to have that discussion tonight during the budget. So I didn't get a chance to give you a heads up, the staff a heads up on that. So.
I have to think about that. Mayor, I mean, as far as, I'm not saying whether I would be for it or not, because I don't know, I don't have enough information, but I will say this. And the city attorney has not said one way or the other on it.
No, he's looking it up. He's and if he can't make it an opinion tonight, we can talk about it in the second reading. But I want to at least put it on the table as a way to help to benefit the whole city.
Yeah.
So when we used to have the fee didn't cover the whole residential trash service.
Right.
The general fund covered part of it. But there was no real rhyme or reason for how much came out of the general fund. It was just what the board felt like was left. It was The board would decide what the trash fee would be, and then what the cost was, came out of the general fund. But it's sort of where you're going, but there wasn't any input on how to come up with that number.
I mean, I would like for the staff, if we can do it legally, and if board, if Bumble would approve it, for the staff to come up with some computation of how, of what that would be.
And that's what was missing years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it would be clear, this is the portion, this is my tax bill, itemized tax bill, you know, and this, and the universal tax for garbage service that, you know, so I don't know if it's even possible, but I think it's worth talking about.
Well, I think you can, as a board, as a legislative board of the aldermen, I think you can do a tax. I'm just trying to think. But I'm certainly not Lance, and he may find something where we can't do that, but I've got a feeling we can.
I mean, how do you think it'll go over if garbage service goes up 50, 60, 70%? You know, right now, garbage service is a little over 12% of our operating budget. And if that jumps to 20 to 22, 25%, what's that gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a way out, I guess, to cushion the blow by spreading.
The misery.
Would that
Yeah.
would that be an
Perfect
additional fee done there along with the trash fee that was proposed?
Well, conceptually, it'd be, your tax bill is $10. The tax for garbage service is $2. You know, so your total bill would be $10. $2 of that is for the universal trash service tax. I mean, I don't ever bring y'all easy stuff to, you know.
Boy, that is something. I know we're just wasting airtime on TV, but that's something that certainly needs to be discussed, whether you're for it or against it. I hadn't thought of that. Do you have anything? Do you have anything?
I was just wondering if Hendersonville ever did their own trash.
No, not that I know of.
Galveston does, Portland does, several other cities do. Several cities don't deal with trash at all.
Serious.
You call somebody and they come pick up your trash.
Public Works don't get that, do you, Sarah? You know,
I'll let
I've
you
talked
guys
to-
discuss
I've talked to
this.
Tracy, I've talked to Tracy about that, and he said, you're talking about early retirement.
Yeah. I don't know if the city's ready for that. You know, we've talked about that years ago, back in the 80s and 90s. And I think we even might have come up, you know, with a figure that it was just too astronomical for the city of Hendersonville to do it.
Jesse and I and Sarah have talked about it. The startup costs sizable.
Yeah, there is, it'd be astronomical.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can talk about it, you know, in committee and see what, you know, what we come up with. But I got a feeling what we come up with, you're not gonna like, you know, just as a committee, and I'm sure the Board of Aldermen aren't gonna like it either. Cause I still think it's gonna be way too much money that we can swallow on here. All right. Okay, we've got the motion's been passed. Is there any other questions on trash? I think this is proper approach. And Mayor, I appreciate you coming and letting us know beforehand about this, because if we attack it now, there'll be less, it'll be less pain for not only this committee and Public Works, but the Board of Aldermen too, because we'll have all our ducks in a row, you know, the next time when this comes around. So we're going to do it in a month, right? So it'll be next month's meeting. We'll come back.
That's right.
Okay. Any other questions on trash? You gonna be able to be here next meeting?
I was just checking just for, that'll be the 4th Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, double check. It may depend on what you come back with from the attorney anyways.
Yeah,
So
well, that's true.
that may be that may determine everything.
If you're not here, that's bad news.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have good news just to be sending
It could be, you know, we
through
could be.
Sarah and the mayor, so.
It could be, all right. All right, Jesse, have anything, bro? It's tough. It's always tough talking garbage, it really is. Talking trash.
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you all for that. We're looking forward to next month's meeting. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's go on with light synchronization update.
So they, sure you could see, they're still working on the demarcation out front, making that connection to City Hall, but they are also progressing down Main Street, boring the fiber, so moving right along, no issues to date, so that's always good news.
What about phase 2?
Phase 2, we are very close to getting our NEPA approval, and then we will move moving forward to finishing up the design. There's no right of way that's needed for that project either, so
And no bid, no bidding on that. We've already awarded the contract.
we will have to bid for construction. We've awarded the contract for design only.
When do you think we'll be ready to do that? Give us a date and we might move it up a month.
Maybe 8 months.
I showed my hand. So when for bid for construction, you think, realistically?
Yeah, I think early 2024, we will be bidding for construction. I mean, we're gonna work toward earlier, but realistically, with the approval process through TDOT, I think early
Right.
2024.
Has the problem that we talked about, is that the NEPA?
That is NEPA,
That they
Yes.
thought we might need to do another survey or,
yes.
uh,
We're working on getting a call with their Cultural Services Division to
Cool.
discuss that. But I think we're gonna be able to find a pretty swift solution.
let's push.
All right, any other,
Who won the design contract?
That project is Kimberly Moore.
Kimberly?
any other questions on this? You have any? Good deal. All right, Saunders Ferry Greenway.
Also moving right along, they've started on the abutments, and I believe that they are also working on some of the tiers for the boardwalks. So we're gonna start seeing some new progress, which is exciting.
Estimated completion date.
That is, that one is September of 2023.
All right. With all the work, I've been having phone calls on that, you know, they're wanting to know about all that, you know, what's going on with it too. Some people didn't even know
Yeah.
that we're doing that, you know, so, okay. Any other questions on dealing with Saunders Ferry Greenway? Okay, now we have, let's talk about the Indian Lake closure. Sarah, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so we have, as part of the approval process for the Indian Lake Village multifamily development, we asked them to provide improvements for the intersection of Saunders-Ville Road and the private drive that accesses Sam's and Hobby Lobby near Twice Daily. And so they came back with plans for a roundabout, and those were approved, and they are preparing to start construction. And speaking with them, they came with a couple of options as far as construction for that project, and it was determined that the best way forward for that particular location would be to allow a temporary closure of 2 months to construct the project. Thought that since there are already pretty significant number of collisions at that intersection,
Right.
that it would really be more painless in the long run to just close it when I'm constructed. So they're looking at starting, initially they said June 1st, right before this meeting. We got a notification that they've become aware of some material delays, so they are planning on starting June 12th, and that will slide through August 20th, I believe it was. We are working with them on ensuring they can open, even if it's phased for school traffic. So hopefully they should be able to get binder down or drivable surface and phase it in such a way that they can close it for the majority of the time, but try and have it open for school traffic is what we're working toward. And then Casey and JP have prepared some maps for where the closure will take place and circulation while it is closed. I'll just pass those around, and the closure map is shown on the screen for viewers as well. We have not received, we are requiring a stamped, sealed traffic control plan. We have not received that yet, but we'll be reviewing that in detail.
So it's gonna be closed from the 12th through the 20th, is that what you're telling me?
That is the proposed closure timeline, but we're gonna try and have it at least partially open for school traffic. That impact would be extremely difficult to overcome.
I've been amazed at the speed of this project. Sarah, when we try to do something ourselves, it takes years and years and years. But the private sector, they're gonna do it in 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's really made me think, what in the world? Now I know some of ours are more complicated than this one. This one wasn't hard to get the right of ways,
Right,
the land.
right,
But my goodness,
yeah.
it takes us for years and years, and they're doing it in a couple of months,
Yeah.
so much quicker.
This project has a variety of factors that make it a lot faster, other than just like the funding source and all those things. There are no streams in the area, there are no environmental impacts. It's all already been constructed previously. It's really a reconstruction project. And so a lot of those factors will influence a faster timeline, but I mean, in the end, when you have the funds in hand to construct a project with no strings attached from grant funds and no right of way needed, they do move a lot faster.
Well, what's the old saying? That's close enough for government work, right? That has always amazed me about our government, not only here in Hendersonville, but just our federal and even our state. I don't know. I had to go to the hospital yesterday, and they transferred stuff from Nashville to Gallatin, and I hadn't been to Gallatin in a while. But I saw somebody working up there, and the guy, I just kind of started chuckling because he was pushing a broom right there on the main street, and I go, I've never seen our guys as slow as the ones. No disrespect to Gallatin, but man, he was maybe looking for some overtime or something, but I don't know. They were very slow. City work up there, but anyway, I just kind of had to chuckle about that and with this discussion about how quickly this is going to go, kind of makes me feel this about the years of government, how slow things go. Sort of like an oxymoron in a way. All right, well, thank you for bringing that. Anything else on that? Does anybody have any? I know I've noticed on social media that we've been posting the work on the work that we're talking about. So I would imagine we'll be doing it again. And, I look forward to that project being fixed because I'm anxious.
Have we talked with elementary?
I'm having lunch with John Mann Thursday.
Okay.
The principal.
Do you mind telling him if he doesn't know already? He probably does, but
It's been interesting. Casey and I and Jesse have stopped by a couple of businesses there intentionally. Most of them already know what's coming. They appreciate that we're coming by.
Well, good.
Everybody was really well received. We just had one person that was a little stressed about it. Most of mine didn't know about it, but we're happy to hear that it was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot. We haven't actually communicated anything out personally to residents yet. We were kind of going through the communication plan and making sure businesses were aware first, just as a respect to them, because this is kind of affecting them. And I'm kind of glad now we didn't, since we'll have a new date to communicate.
Right.
So I would anticipate communicating this. That's what these maps are made for, is to help inform residents and, you know, those driving in the city, where they can anticipate how to get in and out and navigate these businesses during this time.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? This is gonna be, I think, a good thing for those businesses around about and for the city.
Safe.
Yeah, exactly. It really is going to be. So, any other questions on that? All right. All right, we'll go ahead. There anything else on other agenda items anybody wants to talk about? Yes, sir.
Yeah. I would like to be educated on what the limitations and qualifications are for GNRC funding. I had mentioned, I think in capital projects, about possibly stop 30, and it was said, well, that wouldn't qualify because it doesn't add to the capacity. So I would like, if there are guidelines, Sarah, you know, so that I can better understand. And a citizen asked me, have we applied for GNRC funding for the tunnel?
Not yet. That is a possibility.
Okay.
We're in the process of adding that project to the TIP, to the long range transportation plan. Usually you'd have to have it in the long range transportation plan and prioritize through that process.
Do you
to
believe
seek
that would
additional
qualify,
funding.
I would
the
think
guidelines?
I would think it would.
I think so, since it's already received state funding. I think that's not gonna be an issue to add that project.
We'll get into some strings about what is local money. We can use county money as local money. We can't use TDOT money, we can't use federal money as local money. But it's still gonna be helpful if it's 80%.
Yeah.
Huge.
I'm embarrassed that I haven't brought it up before, but let's try it. You go that avenue.
Keith and Sarah have been working on it for some time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So still, I would like the guidelines of what's the qualifications.
Okay.
The cart barn is being demolished, right? Is it down?
They've almost finished knocking it down.
Any issues so far?
No, sir.
Thanks to Public Works for helping with the, was it Piedmont,
Yes, sir.
getting the gas cut off. That bumped up a month, almost a month. So that's good progress going on there.
Nice video.
It wasn't.
Look fun.
Everybody wanted to play on it yesterday.
And what is, you advertised, the Scouts built something at Sanders Ferry.
The Eagle Scout Project.
What is that?
Gaga ball.
Gaga, is that like Lady Gaga?
No, it's not near as good looking as Lady Gaga, and it can't sing like Lady Gaga. But basically, you just get in an octagon shaped pit and try to hit a little miniature dodgeball at people, and if you get hit, you're out.
Kids love it.
Never heard of it.
It's like a combination of dodgeball and foursquare.
Yeah. You haven't been to church camp for the past couple of years.
Yes, that's all the rage.
No, they don't have camp for seniors.
We can have a little Alderman game out there.
Oh, Lord.
I saw that, I just didn't know. what it
No,
was.
it's a great, the young man that did that did a great job.
Yeah, we could do team building exercise up there.
That would not feel too.
Just to let this committee know, I'm going to also announce it tonight in the finance committee. I intend to file tomorrow morning an ordinance proposing to increase the hotel motel tax up to the maximum amount. We can increase it by law up to 4%, and that'll bring in about 150,000 that parks can use for promotion of tourism. So I do plan to file that tomorrow. So it'll go through the committee process, just so that you're not surprised that you see it tomorrow.
Good, thank you. All right. Andy, anything else? You were over here awful quiet. You and Jesse both, I'm telling you.
Just like talking trash, sir.
All right.
Enjoy it.
Jesse, do you have anything to say? No? Okay.
Well, I had a question.
Yes.
I talked to a lot of Metro vendors
Yeah.
about getting them to participate more on Hendersonville bids.
Right.
I got some strange responses. So I thought I'd ask, like, professional design services, how do you procure that? Is that a IDIQ contract, or do you solicit each one, or how does that work?
A couple different ways to put it. But yeah, so a lot of times we put out a public bid. It'll go out through our website. A lot of the bid platforms will pick up on it and kick it out. I think we have an email list that people can sign up for if they want to receive bids that go out. TCA allows for you to continue the use of a professional services contract if you have a satisfactory relationship with them. So at times, we will avail ourselves to that. I know we went through one recently where I think it was a very similar work. It was on a Kinley horn. They were going to bid on it. They had done very similar work, and they had just been the best bid on it. So we said, hey, for this, it's going to be almost exactly the same. We have a satisfactory relationship with them. Do we go out to bid and spend a month doing that? And when they just bid something that was very similar, and they will re-engage us at the same rates that we just did a competitive proposal on. So at times we will avail ourselves to that provision, and at times we'll just go out to bid.
Okay, so when you go out to bid, it's just on the Hendersonville website? Do we put it out to other websites?
We don't. A lot of times those websites, they'll get picked up by like a bid plan room, and they'll kick it out to contractors and vendors who are signed up with them. But we don't ourselves kick it out unless you're on our email list to get those your documents sent to you.
Okay,
They're also advertised in the Standard as well.
Hendersonville Standard.
Yeah, that is something where we've had many meetings about how to be more efficient, and a procurement person at the city who kind of specializes in that. And even we've talked about just kind of reformatting our finance department to have someone in procurement so we can do better with our bid processes and how we procure, not just professional services contracts, but if we're going to pick up tape, or we're going to buy paper, or all those things that we purchase. So I think it is definitely on the horizon for us to be looking into how we do better with our procurement. Professional services is one of those activities that we could do better on. So we're looking at ways that we can centralize that and go through our finance department to do better on procurement.
All right, well, if anything comes out, just let me know. I saw that we had the paving contract out there open for bid. I sent it out to Metro's pavers. They were surprised to learn about it, but I put it in front of them, and they'll be contacting you if they haven't already. But if there's anything else like that, let me know. I'll get it out there and get you guys more competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can get you the email list so they can sign up for those automatic notifications. That's a
Yeah,
good
who
way
has
for any contractor.
It's posted on our website where they can sign up for notifications, and they select which notifications they want to get. So if you go out on our main website, there's a sign up for e-notifications where I want
Doing
to,
business.
and then sign up for e-notifications here. And when they put all their information, there's the RFP post. And so when they select those options, anytime an RFP is posted, they'll get an email.
Perfect.
And we can send you the direct link to it too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's,
Yes. That's all for me.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right. Hearing nothing, just need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Will you send me